What's up, everybody? It's the Sports League Podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak, and we got Dean back on the show. Good to have you, Dean.
Hey, hi, Alex. Appreciate it being back with you so soon.
Yeah, it's great to start doing this. Great to, have the college football season starting up, and week zero in the books and week one right around the corner. We'll have some good football tomorrow night, Friday night, and then all day Saturday. So I can't wait.
Yeah, there's going to be we started out like with seven ball games,
Mm-hmm.
and that's hardly even got my taste started,
Yep.
you know. But Thursday there's going to be like 11 games, and then Friday there's six games,
Wow.
and then Saturday there's 65 games, and then we got Uh, Sunday we got three, and then there's one on Monday.
Wow. I didn't know
Now
that.
we're talking football.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be hard to keep up with all the action, but I'm all
Yeah,
for it. Yeah. I'm surprised there's three on Sunday night.
yeah. Weird, huh?
Yeah. But
That's gonna interrupt your NFL watching, isn't it?
well, NFL doesn't start until the next Sunday, so I'm
Well, yeah,
complete
for real, yeah,
yeah, so I'm completely free this weekend to watch all the college football. And week zero started out a lot of fun. Me and some friends got together, got some beer, got some pizza, watched the Notre Dame Navy game, and it was great to have some meaningful regular season football on, that actually counts.
yeah,
And Notre Dame versus Navy in Dublin, Ireland. Um, great game, great atmosphere. My first impression, can Notre Dame and NBC they can do better than Noah Eagle and Jason Garrett on the broadcast, right? Why can't we get Mike Tirico and Tony Dungy,
yeah. I don't know what it is. It seems like those broadcasts, the people they pull in to do these just don't seem to be top notch.
Yeah.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, I like Ian Eagle, but I mean, I'm not a big fan of his son Noah Eagle, and then Jason Garrett. I mean, we can do better than Jason Garrett. You could do Chris Sims. You could have Doug Flutie, Tony Dungy. There's a lot of different people we could have.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess that's all they could find.
Yeah, but I mean, leave it to me to find something to complain about with the great football starting up. Um, Notre Dame starts out on fire. Their first four possessions are all touchdowns, and they lead 28 to nothing at halftime. What were your thoughts with how Notre Dame started out, dominating, in all three phases?
Yeah, I was very impressed, pleased to see how well they were doing, both offense and defense.
Hmm.
That's a pretty hard Navy offense to stop.
Yeah.
And the defense, well, I thought, did a miraculous job to hold them as well as they did.
Hmm.
And obviously, it was nice to have the 28 points, and they really looked smooth and everything. Um, but isn't that what you wanted and expected from them?
Yeah. You know, go out there and take care of business and dominate the game. And we talked about it last week. The slow start last year, you want to get that bad taste out of your mouth. So get out to a very impressive start this year and dominate and win by 39 points, 42 to 3. It doesn't get much better than that.
Not at all. You know, I think even Navy got concerned about getting shut out because they started kicking field goals
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
in the game. I mean, that was about halftime, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, why are you going for 3 points? You know, you're close enough with that offense, you might be able to score.
Hmm.
But they attempted a field goal and of course missed. But
Yeah.
I mean, don't give up so soon.
Yeah. Yeah, they look like they kind of knew early on that they were just outmatched, and
Yeah, and they
uh,
were.
yeah, and I heard some people say they're like if Notre Dame can establish the run, and be successful with that, then Navy's going to be in trouble. And that's about how it went.
Yeah, and
Sam,
they did. Yeah,
Sam Hartman didn't have to throw all over the field, just 23 attempts, 19 of 23, very efficient for 251 yards and four touchdowns,
yeah.
and made all the throws. Had a couple tight window throws for touchdowns and stuff. He looked very good in his Notre Dame debut. I'm sure you're excited about the future with Sam Hartman.
Well, at least this game he lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
So I mean that was encouraging. So often I've seen uh, quarterbacks being built up and then they're a big flop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he played well. Um, we'll just see what goes on from there. But I expect him to be pretty good consistently.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, that's the best I've seen a Notre Dame quarterback look in a long time. And it gives them some real, momentum, some real potential with a quarterback like that. They've always had a solid team. They always can recruit well. They've always got one of the best offensive lines in football, you know, you got a running back like Audric Estime, and now you got a quarterback on top of that, along with the defense. Notre Dame on paper looks very good, you know?
I agree. I was really impressed with the running back for sure.
Yeah,
He looked like he's going to be a handful.
yeah. Audric Estime combines for 121 yards and a touchdown, 95 yards rushing. It was a little surprising. He fumbles early, and it's like they kind of punished him for it. We didn't see a lot of him until really like the fourth quarter, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
but but they are deep at that position. They had some
yeah,
other guys come in and do well.
yeah.
How about freshman wide receiver Jaden Greathouse with three catches for 68 yards and two touchdowns? He keeps this up, he will have a great house.
Man, he really stepped up, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was impressive.
yeah. For a freshman, debut like that, he looked great. Seems to have natural chemistry with Sam Hartman. You know.
Right.
Um, So I think a lot of people, the big topic coming out of this, the reaction to it, is Notre Dame this good or is Navy this bad?
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, do you think Navy just had a bad game? I mean, they were a lot better, a lot more competitive last year, you know?
But if you really watch the game, they moved the ball.
Hmm.
I mean, they weren't like three and out. I mean, they had a pretty good package offensively. I think defensively they had the biggest struggle.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty typical of Navy.
Hmm.
They just didn't. They just couldn't get down close enough to do anything with the ball.
Yeah.
But Navy's been down, for a while, so I don't think it's a surprise that they're struggling yet. But I think they're going to be a pretty decent team.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we'll look back later on down the season and we'll have more of a gauge to look at this game. If Navy turns out to be a six-win team, a decent team, then we'll look back at this and say, and if Notre Dame's undefeated or contenders, then we'll be like, man, that was an impressive win, you know?
Right. Yeah, well, it all measures in the future. I mean, all of
Mhm.
them do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the first game, and we really didn't learn an awful lot, I don't think. Um, I think our expectations was pretty much what happened.
Hmm.
I don't think that was supposed to be a tough ball game.
Yeah.
And because of that, it turned out the way most people thought it was going to turn out.
Hmm.
So so that's positive for at least for the Domers.
Yeah, absolutely. A great start to the season, a blowout win, some style points in the process, and on to the next week, and keep stack some of these wins together.
You're right.
Um, how about San Jose State against USC? Number six in the country, USC. Play of the game, reigning Heisman winner quarterback Caleb Williams fumbles the snap, picks up the fumble, and tosses a 76-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Taj Washington. Did you see much of this game?
I saw a little bit of it, not much of it.
Yeah. The thing
I did see that play. Um, sometimes
that
what can you say? It just happens.
And it's one of
Um,
those, if he doesn't pick it up right away and somehow San Jose State recovers and they go score, then they got an early lead on USC, in
yeah,
the Coliseum. But he picks it up and he's got the arm strength to just throw it downfield and it goes for a touchdown. I mean, it's a game of inches sometimes. And credit to Caleb Williams for making a play out of what could have been a disaster.
that was a quality play on his part. He didn't give up. He didn't
Yeah,
just flop on the ball like most quarterbacks would have.
yeah,
He tried to make something happen and it worked. So,
yeah.
you got to give him his kudos for that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, even if he'd have just thrown it and have been incomplete, we'd have said, good play.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that turned out to be more than just a good play.
Yeah, and this game surprised me a little bit because USC defense allows a San Jose State touchdown. I mean, on paper, I expect a 42-3 outcome of USC San Jose State the way Notre Dame dominated Navy. But when San Jose scores to end the first half on a 28-yard touchdown with 8 seconds left, it's a 21-14 game, and the Spartans are hanging in there against USC. Were you surprised that San Jose State, at least in the first half, kept it close?
I thought, if I recall, San Jose State played pretty good last year.
Okay.
And so for them to play as well as they did wasn't a surprise. The only surprise is that, well, I'm not even sure it was a surprise, but USC just, we talked about this, their defense.
Yes.
They're just not elite. USC's got some worries. Uh,
Yeah.
they're going to give up 28 points to San Jose State.
Yeah.
What are they going to do to a firepower?
Yep. In a very tough
So
conference.
I
Utah
would
can put a
I
point.
wouldn't feel that comfortable if I was a USC fan compared to what Notre Dame feels.
Yeah. Like you expected to go out and put up a lot of points. You got the reigning Heisman winner. You got a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball. All eyes were on that defense, and the defense didn't look that great.
Yeah,
And a lot of USC fans are feeling slighted. No, some people aren't picking them to win their conference or aren't picking them to go to the national championship game. And it's like, well, we're all looking at the defense, wondering if it's going to be better than it was last year. And this isn't exactly a great start. So,
right.
you know, we'll have to see. But
Yeah,
a bright side for USC is freshman wide receiver Zachariah Branch.
yeah.
Uh, 230 all purpose yards, two touchdowns, and returned a kickoff 96 yards for a touchdown. Looked a little bit like Reggie Bush on that kick return. He looked special.
Yeah, yeah. They have a lot of good athletes, at least offensively.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe they ought to switch some of those guys to the other side.
yeah,
I don't know what their problem is, but they scored 56 points. However they did it doesn't matter. They scored
hmm
56 points. That's a lot.
yep,
That's impressive.
hmm
They just gave up four scores.
yeah,
That's what's worrisome.
yeah. It is, and like you said, maybe San Jose State is better than some of us are thinking. Their quarterback Siobhan Cordero throws three touchdowns, all of them to wide receiver Nick Nash,
Yeah,
who had a good game. So, again, we don't know exactly how good San Jose State is, and maybe this win will look more impressive later on down the road. But
yeah.
you know, Something to keep an eye on defensively for USC, though, for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. They got to hope they got a few cookies coming up before they got to play someone that's strong.
Yeah, yep. Get some confidence, start getting playing better. Some people talked about the scheme a little bit where they're trying to be a little too cute, a little too smart for their own good defensively instead of just lining up and playing football, you know?
Yeah, well, but when you come in with all the hype, you got the number one guy that's supposed to get the Heisman again.
Yep.
He's the greatest quarterback ever born in some eyes to some people, at least the way they talk.
Yeah. Comparing
And that can go to your head, not
yeah.
only the quarterback, but the team.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense may even be a little bit, you know, um, thinking that it doesn't matter how well they play, that the quarterback's going to beat them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. They need to think their whole thing through and get their act together.
Yeah. As great as USC is, we'll be keeping a close eye on them all season to see, if they get better, see how they do because right, their biggest their first test is gonna have a lot of eyes on it, I think.
Yeah, well, I guess the next game will really tell more about what they've got.
Who are they playing next?
They play Nevada next.
Okay.
And if Nevada scores 28 points, you got problems.
Yeah.
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 So we'll see. That's why we play more than one game.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you have watch any of the other games? Jacksonville State beats UTEP 17-14. Um, UMass over New Mexico State 41-30. UMass might have a little bit of a quarterback. He looked like he was, he's been a backup at like Clemson and I believe like Georgia Tech, and he looked like he has some potential, some skill, at least as a runner.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the UMass thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that was I was quite, New Mexico State really, honestly, you know, they're really not that good.
Uh-huh.
But UMass hasn't been any good.
Yeah.
So for them to pull that game out like they did, that was an away game, I think.
Yep. I think
And
so.
yeah, and interesting enough, that's who Auburn plays this weekend.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm going to that game. It's going to be interesting to see what UMass is really like
Yeah.
compared to our Auburn bunch. I'd be concerned.
Yeah, that could be a decent game. I think Auburn wins it, but it'll be UMass. It's an opportunity for them to kind of wake some people up for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Auburn better be awake. I hope they paid attention.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
yeah,
mean, then Jacksonville State, their first game, I think it was in Division One.
okay,
How about that?
yeah. Come out with a win.
Yeah, it was close, but they pulled it off. That's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. San Diego State over Ohio, 20-13. I think that people would like to see that score be a little bit more of a blowout. San Diego State against Ohio.
Yeah, that's a surprising low score.
Yeah,
Surprisingly close.
yeah.
Yeah.
Louisiana Tech over FIU 22-17. And then another game surprisingly close, Vanderbilt over Hawaii 35-28. There was some question mark throughout that game, maybe Hawaii can pull this off.
Well, they almost did.
Yeah.
I mean, I, I'm a little bit surprised that that ended up being a Vanderbilt win. The
Hmm.
SEC doesn't have pretty much any respect for Vanderbilt this year.
Yeah.
They're pretty much picked to finish last, and for
Yeah.
them to score 35 points against a decent team,
Yeah.
that's I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know what they're talking about in the SEC. Huh?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I didn't know that Vanderbilt was going to be bad this year. So thinking of it from an SEC school, I'm like expecting them to handle Hawaii pretty well, and it surprised me how good of a game it was.
Yeah,
So, but I mean, if they're a bad team, then at least they got the win, right? It doesn't really matter as long as you're 1-0.
that's right. That's the name of the game, isn't it?
Yep. So, can't wait for week one to get going. Thursday, let's look at some of the games. Wake Forest without Sam Hartman. So a new era there, taking on Elon. They should be able to win that.
Well,
Uh,
wait a minute now. Don't uh, discount Elon.
I don't know anything about Elon.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about them.
All right.
They are Division two,
Mm-hmm.
but they're rated number 18 in Division two,
Okay.
so they're not bad.
Yeah.
So Wake Forest better not just be thinking that this is going to be a cake.
Yeah.
You might just be surprised.
Yeah. At home, maybe they're expecting a blowout or an easy win. Who knows?
Yeah. Now,
So
I would suspect that Wake Forest will win, but they
yeah.
better realize that they're playing a team that has some recognition in their own group. So
Yeah.
don't take them lightly.
Yeah, and to go from a team that was reliant on like a star quarterback that can bail you out, now that
Yeah,
he's gone, maybe that comes back to bite you a little bit.
it's going to be interesting. I'm going to kind of keep one eyeball on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, now that you say that, I'll keep an eye on it. Um, Kent State, UCF, I'm predicting they'd take that. I don't know much about Kent State, but that'll be an interesting game. UConn, NC State. How do you think NC State will be any good this year?
Um, Man, they were tough last year. I don't know what they lost or what
Yeah.
they got to replace what they had, but they were pretty competitive last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what the spread is there, but that's got to be close.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I heard a stat today about because Sam Hartman played in that conference against NC State. Um, they said in Sam Hartman's last two games against NC State, he's thrown a total of six interceptions, three interceptions twice.
Yeah,
So that might be an interesting game to keep eye on. That Notre Dame NC State. Notre Dame should be able to take care of business, but keep an eye on Sam Hartman in that game. See how he plays against a familiar opponent.
yes,
So
absolutely.
yeah. It's a stat I heard on ESPN. So ESPN is hating on Notre Dame probably as usual.
Well, that's all right. That's a target for many. It's all right.
Yeah, yeah. I listened to a couple different ESPN podcasts today, college football, and I don't usually do it. I hate on ESPN a lot for pushing narratives, and I listened to Paul Feinbaum for about 5 minutes and had to change the podcast. Like I
Yeah,
was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like acute, like saying Nick Saban is bullying the media and stuff. I'm like, "Come on, Feinbaum. The media should be able to handle it. They should be used to Nick Saban by now?"
yeah. I don't ever listen to him
Yeah,
ever.
I don't either, and I for whatever reason turned him on today and regretted it instantly. So
Yeah, well, see, that'd be the first and last, then, won't it?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Florida, Utah. Uh,
Ah,
this is interesting because it sounds like Cam Rising is not gonna play.
really?
Yeah, he's out. So the other guy is Bryson Barnes is gonna start instead. So
Really?
Florida won it last year, so maybe Florida, they got a decent quarterback in Graham Mertz. maybe they can pull out, pull the upset again 2 years in a row.
Uh, I think even with the quarterback being their best guy, Florida
Yeah,
had a shot at it.
yeah,
Okay, so this is going to be even more interesting now.
yeah, yeah.
Be a good game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be watching this game for sure. This game and then Nebraska Minnesota Big Ten matchup. Um, I don't know a lot about either of these two teams, Nebraska and Minnesota, but Big Ten, I love watching Big Ten football. It's, usually almost always competitive.
Yeah, and there's been a fair amount of hype now with Nebraska's new regime.
Yeah, Matt
So,
Rule taking over.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's some expectations there, and it'll be another interesting game.
yeah,
It's not one that I would say I got to watch that over Florida, Utah.
yeah. All eyes are gonna be on Florida, Utah for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah,
I think Nebraska or either one of those teams can win the ball game.
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised either way.
I'm rooting for Minnesota a little bit. I think I'm a little bit of a Matt Rule hater. Uh,
Yeah,
I, you know, I said that it wasn't going to work out in the NFL, and it really didn't.
yeah,
And but I mean, I do want to see someone turn Nebraska around. So if he can do it, more power to him.
yeah. We kind of need Nebraska in the thick of things again.
Yeah,
They have been just totally silent for so long that I don't think anybody even thinks about them anymore.
yeah, and they're one of those teams where it's good for college football when they're good.
Yes.
So, um, but yeah, I mean, all eyes are going to be on that Florida Utah matchup. With if Cam Rising was playing and healthy, I'm riding with Utah. I picked Florida to win last year, but in Florida, in Gainesville, in
Yeah.
Utah, with a pretty good home field and a healthy Cam Rising, I'm taking Utah. But without him,
Yep.
this game's well, up in the air. Anything could happen. So
Yes.
I'm definitely watching that. Um, South Dakota, Missouri, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Tulsa, North Carolina, A&T, UAB, Southern Utah, Arizona State. Any of those catch your eye? I think mostly we're going to be watching that Florida Utah game with a little Nebraska Minnesota sprinkled in.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like I said, there's 11 games on Thursday, but there's only one really good one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody's going to be watching that game, but that's a late game.
Yep.
So, we'll be picking up on the Wake Forest and some of the other ones to fill in
Yeah.
until we get to that game.
Yeah, and at 10 p.m. is the Southern Utah Arizona State, so that'll be the late late.
Yeah,
After Florida Utah is done, we'll see if Arizona State takes care of business, which we probably expect them to.
yeah, South Utah. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Is there such a thing as a South Utah?
I don't know, but we'll see. I don't think I've ever watched a South Utah game, so
I've never heard. I don't think that's the first time I ever heard of them.
yeah, I know.
I'm sure they've been around a long time, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and if Stockton and Malone aren't playing, I don't see it going very well.
that's true.
Um, Howard Eastern Michigan on Friday. I'm not really concerned about that one, but the game I am concerned about, Central Michigan, Michigan State. That should be a lot of fun. A battle of the state of Michigan, and it should be a really good game. I mean, I'm a Michigan State fan. I want them to take care of business, but Central should give them a battle and you know be hard fought, I think.
Yeah, Central's been pretty competitive several years now,
Yeah.
and Michigan State has struggled.
Hmm.
So I mean that I've got that one checked off too. It'll be interesting. I mean, it would be sad to see Michigan State fall
Yes.
to this. But
I don't care if it's close. I don't care if we win by a field goal as time expires. I just want the win. I think it's going to be very hard fought.
probably so. But
Yeah.
again, I mean, as rosters change, the talent changes, and you can get surprised sometimes. And you know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I expect a close ball game, but they are playing at home, so that helps.
Yeah, unproven quarterback in Noah Kim. So we'll see how he looks.
Yeah,
Hopefully Mel Tucker has the team fired up and uses that home field to their advantage, but I think it's going to be a great game for
yeah,
sure.
could be.
The Battle of Miamis. I haven't seen this in a while. Miami, Ohio against Miami, Florida. Miami U. Uh, any chance? I mean, Miami, Florida should take care of business.
Yeah, I don't see them having a lot of trouble.
Yeah, hopefully. Uh, Louisville, Georgia Tech. I love the early season conference matchups. Louisville, Georgia Tech should be a great game.
Yes, it should be.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech again, they've struggled the last few years again. But
Okay.
it
Yeah.
seems like last year they had some decent play.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe they can carry over. But Louisville's always been, someone you got
Yeah.
to deal with. They're no pushover.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that
Yeah.
could be an interesting game.
Yeah. It's at the same time. 7 p.m. is the Central Michigan, Michigan State. 7:30 is Louisville, Georgia Tech. So that'll be a fun two games to flip back and forth. Kansas, Missouri State. Kansas should take care of business there. And then the late game, 11
I
p.m.
got to stop you there. Isn't that interesting that you said that?
Yeah.
Kansas should take care of it. When have you ever heard that statement before?
Well, I
Kansas has
mean,
never been any good, Alex, forever.
like South Utah, I don't know much. I haven't heard much about Missouri State.
No, I'm just joking with you, but I'm thrilled that Kansas has actually got a decent a team now.
Yeah, I find myself rooting for the basketball schools in football. Like when they're good, when they're competitive, I find myself rooting for Kansas, Kentucky, uh, Duke, teams like that, that are basketball schools.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, they shouldn't really have any trouble. Kansas is good enough to win that ball game.
yeah, yeah. So I expect them to win that one. And then the 11 p.m. kickoff. I love late football. The later it
Yeah.
is on, the better. 0-1 Hawaii at home against Stanford. This should be fun. This should be competitive, I think.
Uh, I don't know anything about Stanford this year. I haven't heard much at all.
Yeah,
Um, and Hawaii played pretty good, although they did lose to Vanderbilt.
yeah, that's
So I don't
true.
know what to think about that game.
I'm I always put a lot of stock in a home field. And
Yes,
so I'm rooting or my gut is leaning Hawaii, and so we'll see. I don't Stanford hasn't been that great like you said, so good opportunity for both schools to get a big early season win.
yeah, I agree with the home field thing. In fact,
Yeah.
last week there was only one visiting team that won, and that was UMass.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, the home, there's something to it, regardless
Yeah.
of what you think. There's something about playing at home.
Yeah, with the student section and
The band,
college.
and just the overall, it's the first home game and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that positive momentum.
sure.
Then Saturday at noon, Saturday is going to be great. Football all day long. The first full day of college football, first full week. East Carolina at Michigan. No Jim Harbaugh. Michigan should be able to take care of business, but I've seen East Carolina sneak up on teams in the past. So Michigan better be ready to go.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I don't. Is Harbaugh going to be there?
I mean, I know he can't coach. I don't know if he can be there or not.
Okay, well he's not. Well, I don't think that it matters. Is what I was going to say
Okay, yeah. The
because
talent disparity, yeah.
yeah, he knows what the team knows what he expects,
Yep.
and this is the first time they're right up there, almost on top
Yeah. Number two.
before the season even starts. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of expectation there, and I don't see the Wolverines taking any game for granted.
Yeah.
And
And
I
with
think
a
they'll play well.
with a great offensive line and two great running backs,
Yes.
make it simple. Just run it down their throat and make them prove they can stop you. You don't need to do anything crazy.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. So yeah, as long as they come ready to go, I don't expect a loss, but I'm just saying I've seen East Carolina sneak up on people before, but I do expect Michigan to take care of business. And no Jim Harbaugh is something, but does it factor in? Does it determine the outcome? Likely not. Um, on ABC at noon, Virginia at Tennessee, uh, in Nissan Stadium. So not the Vols home stadium. Number 12 Tennessee. This could be a good game, I think. Do you see Virginia giving them a threat?
Um, when I first saw it, I didn't really think much of it.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's got a pretty good talented bunch, and I haven't heard anything good about Virginia.
Okay.
So I honestly don't think it's going to be much.
Yeah, I just assume that Virginia is going to be competitive, but if not, then yeah, Tennessee should take care of business.
Yeah, I don't know. If Virginia has something, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, and it's not in Knoxville; it's at the Tennessee Titans Stadium, so maybe that's something.
Well, I don't know. It's still in Tennessee, so
Yeah, yeah,
um, I
but
think Tennessee will take care of business there.
okay. And then Deion Sanders debut at Colorado at TCU, a tough way to start against a good TCU team, and a lot of questions about TCU. How good will they be after losing so much talent last year?
Yeah, they've given them an awful lot of credit with their 17th place ranking
Yeah,
with what they lost. And I'm not quite sure that they're going to be that good.
yeah, and how about, I mean, what a statement opening season win for Deion Sanders to go into TCU and steal a win. I mean, regardless of how many players they lost, the national media will go crazy around Colorado if they pull that off.
Yeah, and the hype and I mean, Colorado's going to be sky high.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be ready to play,
Mm-hmm.
and TCU better be ready
Yep.
because I agree with you. I believe Colorado can win that ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. And I'm really looking to keep an eye on the Colorado's quarterback, Deion's kid, Shador Sanders. I haven't seen much of him, and the little bit of highlights I have seen, he looked pretty good. I'm interested to see how he looks at this level.
Yeah, me too. He played
Yeah,
well. He played well with his dad before, but that was in a completely different division
yeah,
and talent. So we'll see.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of questions.
I kind of wish him well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to see him have success and go into TCU and steal a win in Fort Worth, Texas. I mean, that would be incredible.
That would be something. Yes.
Yeah. Um, Arkansas State, Oklahoma, number 20, Oklahoma in Norman. I expect Oklahoma to take care of business. Brent Venables as the head coach. And who's their quarterback? Dylan Gabriel is a good quarterback. So I
Yeah,
expect Oklahoma to take care of business week one at least.
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I'd be surprised if they struggled actually.
Yeah. And then Iowa, Utah State, in Iowa City. Who's Iowa's quarterback? Isn't it the former Michigan guy?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
So and Iowa's got a lot of hype uh this year, so they should be able to take care of business. I'm looking forward to seeing how Iowa looks this year.
yeah, I think there's some expectations there.
Yeah. Number 25, so maybe they feel like that's disrespectful a little bit. So they should take care of business against Utah State. Ball State, Kentucky. I expect Kentucky. Um, Purdue, Fresno State could be a decent game. I expect Purdue though at home.
I don't know. Purdue has been such a disappointment for so long now.
Yeah, and they just lost the quarterback, Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, and Fresno State's been decent. So,
Yeah,
man, I consider this a toss-up. I'm not even sure I'd give Purdue the nod, even though they're home.
yeah, yeah. Another good game at noon on the
Be a
Big
good
Ten
game,
Network.
yeah.
Yeah. Louisiana Tech, who got a win week 0 at SMU. An opportunity for Louisiana Tech to get out to a 2-0 start. They beat FIU week 0,
Right?
but can they go into SMU into Dallas, Texas, and steal a win? We'll see.
Again, I don't. I've not read or heard much about either team.
Yeah,
Um, so I would say I kind of feel like SMU is kind of growing and getting better,
yeah,
and Louisiana Tech hasn't really impressed me.
yeah.
So
And we're gonna get so many questions answered this
yeah,
week. A lot of teams that we haven't seen yet that we're gonna see for the first time. Get a much better idea of who they are, what they look like. Boston College, Northern Illinois. I expect Boston College to take care of business there. Mercer, Ole Miss. I mean, Mercer's 1-0, but give me Ole Miss, number 22 in the country at home. Um,
Mercer is a Division uh, two team, and they're rated 21.
okay,
So they could give them a tough time.
yeah. I mean,
So
Ole
I
Miss
don't
better. Ole Miss better hope that they take care of business. Otherwise, the national media is gonna just destroy them, though.
absolutely. I don't think they'll really have any trouble with them, but it
Yeah,
could be tough for a while until Mississippi gets rolling.
yeah, yeah. Um, Iowa State, Northern Iowa. Interesting game there. Iowa State should take care of business. But again, Northern Iowa is one of those teams I've seen sneak up on people when you least expect it.
Yeah, there. When you're playing somebody in your own state, there's a added fever.
Yeah,
So yeah, they just need to pay attention. That's all.
yeah. Akron Temple in Philadelphia. Temple should be able to take care of business there. Or number 15, Oregon, Portland State. I mean, I expect that to be a blowout. I haven't heard anything about Portland State, and Oregon's got super high expectations.
Yeah, Portland State is not even recognized in the top 30 or 40
Yeah.
Division two. So yeah, it shouldn't be a problem.
If Damian Lillard's not playing, give me Oregon.
Yeah.
Ohio State at Indiana. Any chance this is a good game? Number 3, Ohio State. I'm rooting for Indiana. I love Big Ten matchups. They're at home. Any chance Indiana can steal it or keep it close?
No.
No? Man,
No, I don't.
come on, Hoosiers.
I mean, I'd like to say, yeah, they got a shot, but
Yeah,
I
but
can't.
yeah,
I just can't say that Indiana is going to have enough firepower or defense
yeah,
to hold off Ohio State.
yeah. I'm rooting for it, but I mean, it could be a blowout by, halftime or something. So we never know. But go Indiana. I'm rooting for that one. Uh,
Ohio State has a lot to prove this year.
yeah,
You can't stumble over Indiana.
no, that would be a disastrous way to start the year.
Right.
Um, that's on CBS at 3:30. Another great game at 3:30. Boise State at Washington. Any chance this is a good game? Boise State has been known to pull off some upsets. Washington has a lot of hype.
Boise State has lost their surprise uh, notoriety. You know,
Hmm. Yeah,
used to be, we're playing Boise State and they would just come up and just whip you. You don't even know what happened. But I,
yeah,
I, I don't think, I think Boise State is just one of the guys now.
yeah,
And Washington is going to fight for that Pac-12. So
yeah,
I don't see it as a real contest.
yeah. I agree. Like teams see Boise State coming now. They're not surprised
Yes,
anymore.
yes,
Yeah. But that'll be something to keep an eye on there on ABC. Rice at Texas. This great opportunity for Texas to come out, get a blowout win, keep all the positive momentum. Don't trip up and allow this game to stay close.
exactly.
Yeah,
If you're going to contend for a spot in the playoffs, you can't be struggling with teams like Rice.
hmm,
So, and I don't think they will.
yeah, yeah. Uh, I agree. I don't think they will. Tennessee State at Notre Dame. Eddie George coached Tennessee State. Notre Dame looked so good in week 0. I expect them to look great again in week 1. Get out to a 2-0 start.
Yeah, I got to ask you, Alex,
Yeah.
um, how did Tennessee State get on their schedule?
I have no idea.
I
That's
don't I don't get that at all.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, just
Uh,
did they just have to fill a slot or something?
yeah, probably. Maybe Eddie George has made some phone calls, I don't know.
I don't know. And again, they're not. There's no focus on Division II on them.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they don't, if Notre Dame will probably win this game easily and pull their guys out at halftime.
Yeah. I
That's what
mean,
I would. That's what I would expect.
yeah. I would expect even more of a blowout than against Navy,
It should be.
Yeah, I got an opportunity to go to this game, and I'm like, I'm all right this week. Like, I don't want to go to a blowout.
Oh, I
So,
don't know. I just being there in the Notre Dame Stadium is good for me.
well, if I'm gonna go, I'm trying to go to Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Well, yeah, sure. If you got to pick,
Yeah. Buffalo at Wisconsin, number 19, Wisconsin. Buffalo is a tough team. I'm not sure how great they're going to be this year, but Wisconsin, take care of business, get the win because if you don't show up, who knows with Buffalo?
yeah. Again, it's at home, so
Yeah,
I I just don't see them losing that game.
yeah, I agree. At home at Camp Randall, they should be able to take care of business. UMass at Auburn at Jordan Hare. I expect Auburn to take care of business and get this win, and kind of quiet down the UMass, feel good story so far.
It's going to be an interesting game, I think. Um,
Yeah, on
I mean,
ESPN.
everything is going to be hyped up at Auburn. It's the first game,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a huge deal. I mean, I'm going to go to that ball game.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be
you know, I'm
cool.
kind of curious to see if UMass really has anything, whether that was a fluke or
Hmm.
if they actually uh, have something. So, you know,
I While I like UMass's quarterback and I like the way they looked week zero, I've got Auburn winning by double digits, whether it's 10 or 14 or 17. I think Auburn's good enough to get that win, you know.
yeah, I think that's a fair expectation.
Yeah, especially at home. And the season opener, all the hype, the crowd going crazy. It should
This
be a
this
very fun
coach,
experience. Yeah.
I'm sorry, this
No.
coach cannot lose this ball game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hugh Freeze cannot. No, that would be
No.
terrible.
Yeah,
And Peyton Thorne, I'm interested in seeing how Peyton Thorne looks in Auburn after seeing him a couple years at Michigan State because he's a
yeah,
good quarterback, you know. So
yes.
um, let's scroll down here. We got Maryland Towson. Maryland should win that. Western Kentucky, South Florida. That could be a good game. Um, Pittsburgh Wolford. Pittsburgh should take care of business. Cincinnati Eastern Kentucky. Give me Cincy. Appalachian State should get a win over Gardner Webb. Mississippi State, Southeast Louisiana. Give me Mississippi State big. I don't know anything about Southeast Louisiana, so I'm just
Southwest Louisiana is rated 19,
in what
Division
Division two?
Division two.
Yeah, you know.
And I
uh,
don't know about Mississippi State. You know, they I know everybody, you know, at times they look like they're going to be world beaters and then they just fall on their face.
yeah.
And this little team uh, could just surprise them.
I mean, I'd have to see it to believe it. Being an SEC school, I naturally put them up there. Just more talented, at home. With the cowbell or whatever. Give me Mississippi State. Um, just running the ball at them and they can't stop them. Pretty much is what I envision. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't lose, but
But who knows?
keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Cal at North Texas. Any chance? I mean, at North Texas, it's on the road. North Texas isn't bad. They're a team that can sneak up on you. How good is Cal? Do you know? I mean, this could be an interesting game.
Um, I mean, Cal's kind of in that same category as Stanford. You know, you don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to get out of the big Pac-12. And I don't know. North
No.
Texas, North Texas has been a pretty good team. So
Yeah. Knowing
um,
nothing about either of these two teams, I'm going to go on record and say North Texas gets the win.
I wouldn't argue with you. There again, that's a home team, a home game. So
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, UNLV against Bryant, Syracuse against Colgate. Uh, should be two easy wins there. I don't know anything about Bryant or the toothpaste Colgate. Um,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Georgia.
just look at all those Division two teams that are playing. Like I said before we started, there's there's like um, 65 games played on Saturday. Half
Yeah,
of them are against Division two.
that's crazy.
That's
Getting
nuts.
the easy opponents out of the way early.
Yeah, well, it's kind of what they've always considered it kind of a warm up game for the real stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes these warm up guys don't take it that way.
Yeah, I was just gonna say almost every year we see one of these games against a Division two team where they shock somebody.
Right. Yeah.
And I wonder who it's gonna be this year. It certainly can't be UT Martin against number one Georgia, can it? I highly doubt that.
I don't know. There'd have to be a an act of God, you know, that, that comes and takes care of that thing. But
Yeah.
all I'll say is UT Martin is rated 29.
Okay.
So I mean, they're not going to be necessarily huge pushover. They shouldn't be,
Yeah.
except that they're playing Georgia.
Yeah.
So
Grown men against kids, you know?
yeah, that's not a contest.
Yeah.
That's a half time swap over.
Yeah. Maybe
You
even
know,
fourth quarter, you know?
right?
Let's scroll down here, skip a couple of these games. Let's go USC Nevada. We talked about a little bit earlier. You know, all eyes are going to be on it. Everyone's going to keep, watch USC, not only because they're fun to watch on offense and they got Caleb Williams, but also the defense and how do they do against Nevada? Can they keep Nevada, points down and dominate the game? I think USC wins, but winning isn't enough. We need to see how well they perform.
Yeah, and that will be the eyeball will be on their defense. We're going to enjoy the offense. You
Yep.
know, that's going to be fun to watch.
Hmm.
But I don't know that Nevada's going to score any more than what San Jose did.
Yeah. 28 points is the bar. Can they keep Nevada under that? You
I would
know,
I would think so.
yeah. Um, Kansas State, Southeast Missouri State. Give me Kansas State.
Yeah.
Texas A&M, New Mexico. Texas A&M should take care of business. I hope that they bounce back, have a good year with Jimbo Fisher. I mean, definitely can't get caught sleeping against New Mexico.
No, and Jimbo's got to perform.
Hmm.
He's been on the hot seat for some time. I mean, his contract is such a protective number
Yeah,
that it's almost like, well, maybe he's not really trying that hard because he knows he's set,
yeah.
but
Hey,
A&M people are not going to put up with that. I mean,
no. If there's one loss that could get that contract fired, it would be at home to New Mexico.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, could.
So they better show up. Win by double digits, take care of business.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. Army, UL Monroe could be a sneaky good game. Vanderbilt, a chance to get out to a 2-0 start playing Alabama A&M,
Yeah,
2-0. Hey,
how about that?
yeah. Their home fans will be into it at least.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of hope they keep on rolling. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
After everybody says that you're the worst in the league.
Yeah. Get out 2-0, 3-0, and the
Yeah.
people will be like, well, look out.
Yes.
Washington State, Colorado State. I mean, I think this is an evenly matched. Not knowing much about either team in Colorado State, I think that's a good game. I mean, Colorado State has been not playing that well of late, but in my opinion, I always think that they're competitive.
Yeah. Well, Washington State hasn't either, so it's
Yeah,
it's kind of a wash to me too.
yeah, yep,
So you got to kind of go with the home guys.
yeah, exactly. Baylor, Texas State in Baylor. Baylor should run away with that one. Houston, UTSA. Give me Houston at home. Oklahoma State, Central Arkansas. Oklahoma State should take that. Memphis, Bethune Cookman. Give me Memphis. Let's scroll down here. Alabama, Middle Tennessee. Alabama is one of those teams that I think a lot of people are going to keep an eye on because Nick Saban won't even release a depth chart. No one knows who's going to start at quarterback. Usually, when you don't have a quarterback decided, that means that no one's run away with the job. So it'll be interesting to see how Alabama looks against a team they should take care of business against.
Yeah, all that is saying is that they don't have a super quarterback,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean they don't have four very quality
yeah,
quarterbacks.
mm-hmm,
So that would be the problem. Which quality quarterback do I put in there? And it's going to be a test. He'll put someone in and give him a shot,
yep,
and he won't be hesitant to pull and
yeah,
put the next guy in.
yep,
What's he got to lose?
yeah, exactly. I think Jalen Milroe starts. And if he looks bad, fumbles the ball or a couple turnovers, then they'll quickly go to Tyler Buckner or who else.
Yeah, and they want to make that decision on who's going to be their guy before they get into the SEC schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. So
So,
good game to start figuring that stuff out against Middle Tennessee,
right.
and they should be able to take care of business in that one, get the win. How about this game on NBC at 7:30? West Virginia at number 7 Penn State. Maybe a sneaky good game.
Could be, yeah.
That, I'm gonna definitely tune in for that one. Penn State should take care of business, should get the win, but you never know.
Yeah, they should. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't, I really can't see a scenario at home that they were going to lose.
yeah, yeah. At home, take care of business, get the win. Number 21 North Carolina at South Carolina. I love this matchup too. Anytime North Carolina South Carolina, it seems like a great game.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, on ABC at 7:30, so that'll be a lot of fun. Give me South Carolina as of right now to get the quote unquote upset.
I think that's a decent flag to wave that is a possible upset.
Hmm.
Although, I mean, North Carolina is rated what, 21?
Yeah, with
And
a solid quarterback, Drake May, Mac Brown at head coach.
their offense is going to be pretty decent, but I think their defense has been subject.
Yeah,
So uh, I don't know. South Carolina played pretty well last year. They won some key games, so they're playing at home. So they might just be able to pull this one off.
and they still have Spencer Rattler, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So that's going to be just regardless. I think that's a fun game to watch.
Yeah,
So I'm looking forward to that one. Illinois Toledo. Give me Illinois at home. Um, Texas Tech Wyoming. That could be a good game. Texas Tech has to go on the road, so uh, they should win, but that could be a good game. I think.
yep, could be.
Old Dominion Virginia Tech. Give me Virginia Tech. Let's keep going down here. Um, I mean, that's about the best games on Saturday. Late games, Arizona, Northern Arizona. Arizona should win. BYU, Sam Houston. Give me BYU. UCLA, Coastal Carolina. UCLA should be able to get that one. And San Diego State, Idaho State. And San Diego State hopefully can blow that one out and, take care of business, unlike in week 0.
Right. Well, which game you talking about?
San Diego State, Idaho State. After the game in week 0 where San Diego State beat Ohio 20-13.
Yeah,
So,
yep,
Sunday, like you mentioned, 3 games on Sunday at noon on CBS, Northwestern at Rutgers, which should be a good game. Big
yeah,
Ten matchup. Yeah.
yeah. It should be. Yeah,
Um, go Northwestern, but a road game, and Rutgers is kind of sneaky competitive at times.
yeah. Don't they have the old coach back?
Yeah, they might.
I can't recall his name right offhand, but um,
He was in the NFL for a little bit, I think.
yeah, I think he's the one that had him really going strong, and
Greg
then moved
Schiano.
on. Huh?
Greg Schiano.
Yes. Isn't that it?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think he's back.
Yeah. I mean, and if that's really the case, then Rutgers is going to be someone that can be considered.
Yeah, yeah, and no more Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, right? So
Right.
yeah, give me Rutgers at home, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oregon State at San Jose State at CBS at 3:30. San Jose State looked decent against USC. Maybe they can pull the upset over Oregon State at home.
they might be able to do that. Uh,
Yeah.
I tend to wonder, I mean, it's hard to say, what you do in your first ball game, but
Hmm.
they're at home now, so
Yeah.
it might make a difference for them too. I wouldn't be surprised, after playing as well as they did against USC, that they win this ball game.
Yeah. Three good games on Sunday.
Yeah,
Worth watching all of them. And
yeah,
then at night, 7:30 on ABC, LSU versus Florida State in Orlando, Florida.
yeah. That's the whopper right there.
Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I've seen Florida State players talking like they want some respect. They want to go out and show people to stop sleeping on them that they're a dangerous team. You got to go out and beat LSU week one, and wouldn't that throw a wrench in LSU season to lose that? I think they've already kind of penciled in a win there.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think the old ball coach is going to let them think that way.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think he'll have them prepared. Um, I still feel that LSU is a better team,
Hmm.
but they're going to be playing at Florida State.
Well, in Florida,
Well,
not at
yeah,
Doak Campbell, but in Florida.
yes, right. So,
Um, give me Florida State. Give me Florida State to get the win. I don't know the quarterback situation and all that with Florida State, but I'm or no, I do. That one dude. I know him. Florida State quarterback. You know who I'm talking about, right? Jordan Travis
yeah,
and Mike Norvell, head coach. Give me Florida State. I like when Florida State is good. It's good for college football, and LSU might be drinking a little bit of the Kool-Aid, feeling like a contender. Like, they're going to have to worry about Georgia and Bama later in the season. Look for Florida State to sneak up on them and steal week one.
can do. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
So
surprise me
I'm
at
gonna
all.
I'll
You
be doing the
know,
top during this game.
yeah. No, I mean either one of them lose that ball game. That's not an embarrassment or something to hang your head on
Yeah.
because both of these teams are good.
Mm-hmm.
So even a loss, if it's close, is something to build on.
Yeah.
But LSU has already established themselves,
Yeah.
so it will hurt them more than it would if Florida State was to lose.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Florida State has nothing to lose in this game. They have everything to gain.
Exactly. And a lot of fun to watch because we got a battle of two excellent quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels against Jordan Travis.
Yeah,
So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'll be doing the chop saying go Florida State, but it's, either way, I just think it's going to be a great game.
I hope it is really.
Yeah. Um, who was it? Didn't LSU get beat week one last year? They got stunned by somebody or something. I forget. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Either way, I agree with you. A loss doesn't kill either team, but the media is gonna run with it, whoever loses.
Right.
And then Monday night, number 9 Clemson at Duke. Clemson should take care of business, but keep an eye on Duke. A road game for Clemson. And I already said I kind of root for the basketball schools. I hope this is a good game Monday night.
Yeah, I got a feeling you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I know. Clemson should take care of business, and I haven't seen Clemson's new quarterback, so I don't know, yet. Cade Klubnik, but I know they have a great running back in Will Shipley. They got a new offensive coordinator from TCU and Garrett Riley. So Clemson is expected to be kind of back this year.
Yeah, I think the quarterback has started some games, so
Okay.
yeah, I don't think he's an unknown.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see Clemson having any trouble at all with this game. It's gonna.
Okay.
I'm afraid it's gonna end up being a boring last game.
Yeah, it could. As great as LSU Florida State is Sunday night, Monday night could be the disappointing one. Yeah,
Right.
but
So far, I haven't heard of any postponements or cancellations or anything due to the hurricane. Have you?
no, I haven't. I'm happy about that.
I was kind of checking it out as the days went by. I think the thing has already moved off coast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, other than they may have to move to a different field, if they're playing where there was soaked.
That's in California, right?
No, that was in Florida.
Oh, really? I didn't even know about the one in Florida.
No, I mean it was pretty serious one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it went through quickly.
All right, good.
So I mean, there's a lot of soaked ground, but I haven't heard any talk yet about any movement of games,
Good.
which is, I'm was glad to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait, man. Week one is going to be so much fun. So many good games on all nights, Thursday night, Friday night, all day Saturday, even all day Sunday. You can sit and watch three games on Sunday, so that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And then hopefully Monday night the capper. Come on, Duke, pretend it's basketball. But yeah, I think the game of the weekend is LSU Florida State.
Yeah.
So top 10 matchup. And then honestly, yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna find out a lot more about these teams after week one, and then week two we'll be able to break it down at an even higher level. So,
Yep, I think so too.
but
It's interesting. Out of 131 total teams,
hmm
there this first 2 weeks, 93 ball games.
wow,
I mean, normally you would only have about 60.
yeah,
But, when you stick in all these Division two guys,
yeah,
it just, it's going to take a little bit longer to run through the numbers when, when the week is done with that many games.
yeah, absolutely. And it's cool. I mean, the Division Two is slowly kind of catching up a little bit as well. And so you're getting some better matchups, even in the ones you're expected. Oh, that's an automatic win. You're getting some teams that come in and surprise you.
Absolutely. I think the newcomers are going to be pretty decent also. They were pretty good in the Division two, like Sam Houston State. You don't think about them,
Mm-hmm.
but they were in playoff after playoff.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're gonna be kind of like an Appalachian State when they come.
Mm-hmm.
They may just prove to be better than you think they are.
And
Um,
then, and then, like you said, how about Jacksonville State coming in and getting a
right,
win right out of the bat?
right.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be it's fun to see the Division one grow with some pretty good quality ads.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I can't wait, man. It's gonna be a fun weekend, and it all kicks off tomorrow night. So, can't wait to break it down with you again next week. And Florida, Utah is the big game tomorrow night.
yep, sure is.
Uh, I think Florida completes the sweep with no Cam Rising. I think Florida sweeps them 2 years in a row.
I won't argue with you.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody thinks that Utah is going to contend for the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Florida's going to might be, other than because Florida beat them last time,
Yeah.
is
And at
Utah going to be
home,
ready for this game?
yeah. I just think you need the quarterback. Like Utah, in my opinion, is reliant on a star quarterback like Cam Rising. You take him away, I don't think they're the same
I
ball club.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that is kind of the factor that has to be considered. So that's going to be a good ball game.
yeah, absolutely. So, we'll come back next week, see how we did. Remember some of our takes and laugh at what we thought was going to happen compared to what actually happens.
Oh, certainly we won't be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll appreciate you taking the time to come back on, Dean. It's fun talking college football with you, and the season's just getting underway, so it's going to be a lot of fun all year long.
Yeah, this is so enjoyable. I'm so glad to be back in the groove again,
Yeah, about
And
time we get some football. Yeah,
yeah, I kid about the 93 games, but man, that's awesome.
yeah. And football Thursday through Monday, right? So can't
Yeah,
beat that.
can't beat it.
Yeah. Well, appreciate everyone for tuning in and hit that subscribe button. We're gonna be doing college football, NFL all season long, and appreciate the support. The Sports League podcast. Thanks for coming back on, Dean. Have a great weekend.
I will. Thank you so much, Alex. Have a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, you too. Peace out, guys.